Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this week's episode. It's going to be a little bit shorter this week. We're talking to a great guy named Iman Johnson who runs the Spartan Box in San Antonio, Texas. He's in the middle of a move. He's in his new place by the time you'll see this video, which we'll have the address at the end. But he's moving from a 1,300 square foot spot to an over 3,000 square foot spot. So things are going great for him. Obviously, his business is growing. Because of that, we did not get to talk to any of his members. But we did get to talk to Iman about a lot of things, about what drives him and what makes the Spartan Box a great place to check out for a great workout in San Antonio. So let's get talking to Iman, all right? Tell me how you came to open the Spartan Box.
Okay.
All right.
So my name is Emond Johnson, owner of the Spartan Box. I've been training for 13 years. I've been CrossFit coach for about, been 6 years now?
All right.
6 years now. So, yeah, the funny thing is, when I was at Lifetime Fitness, once I left, they just promoted or just came out with the Alpha program. Okay, and at the time I had 2 bootcamp classes. I had about, I think, 70 members just in bootcamp. They thought I would be a perfect guy to shoot, Alpha, along with everybody else, Paul and stuff like that. So, we did it. We got certified for the Olympic lifting and got certified for the Alpha program. When we did finally push it out there, I don't know if you was there then, but it was chaos. It was like I really had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know. Somebody mentioned to me, one of my members said, hey, this is not CrossFit. I know you're trying to get CrossFit, but this is not really CrossFit. You might want to, go to a box and check it out. And I've never been to a box ever at that point. So I just done bodybuilding, in the bootcamp classes. So I went to a CrossFit box, and that's when I joined CFL. And wow, from then on out, I figured out, I didn't need this big gym. I didn't need this big old facility in order to train people. I didn't need this nice rig to do pull-ups on. I didn't need these nice bars. I didn't need all this nice equipment in order to train people. So that's when I figured out that, we didn't need all that stuff. It's CrossFit ain't even about that. It's about, you can have one barbell, some weights, maybe a ball, and you can go at it, with a class. So that's when I figured that out. I figured that out.
So you were just looking to hack away the unessential.
Exactly. It was so easy. CrossFit made it look so easy, to have a facility that's so small and they could train so many people. But in my field, we have all these things, and I only knew the ritzy side, I should say, of doing boot camp or fitness. And CrossFit taught me that you don't need all that stuff, in order to stay fit, so yeah, that was exciting.
How would you define the culture of your facility?
The culture is very family oriented, very inviting. That's just CrossFit. The community is just so inviting, it's, you see a person that's really, really scared to get into, a new type of training or just anything different, and that's the good thing about this environment or this community, it's real, you don't have to be the best athlete. You don't have to be the best at anything, actually. You don't even have to be an athlete. You just come in and work out.
All right, good to go. All right, are there any little known facts about you that people might be surprised to hear?
I really am not that good of a CrossFitter, I guess I would say. I'm not, I'm still learning. The industry is definitely evolving. The programming is definitely evolving. It's getting harder and harder every year. I was always behind the pole because, I started CrossFit in about, 2013. So it's really evolving. So from a bodybuilder to a CrossFitter, it's really hard for me to make that transition. Still, today, it's still the same. It's still hard for me to do that.
How many shows have you done?
I've done 3 shows.
3 shows? Mm-hmm. When was your last one?
My last show was about, that was 2015?
2015?
Yes, 2015.
So yeah, like 2 years now.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
It's been a while, yeah.
So do you plan on doing any more?
Yes, I do plan on doing some more. Just right now with the business, I just haven't been able to just sit down and concentrate on my body. So
Yeah.
Except for CrossFit. CrossFit is easier, for me to just, jump into and go at it. But as far as going into the aesthetics of my body, I'm not really able to right now. So yeah.
Okay. All right. And that you don't see that a lot. You don't see a lot of bodybuilders coming into the
exactly.
CrossFit
Yeah.
world. What do you think? What was it about you that was appealing?
I'm sorry.
What was coming from a bodybuilding background?
Uh-huh.
What was it about CrossFit that was appealing to you?
Oh man! Before bodybuilding, I was a big time football player and basketball player, so I loved the competition. The competition was like, bodybuilding doesn't give you that sense of. It gives you that, in the show you're gonna compete, of course in the show, but on a day-to-day basis you're not competing, you're lifting weights. So on a day-to-day basis in CrossFit you're competing. It's basically you versus you first, and you versus the other athletes and the other members in the box. So it was so much fun and so many exercises, and that's what I liked about it. Being a personal trainer and being able to do all these exercises that you never done before, is amazing. So that's what made me love CrossFit. And another thing is the fact that I was so strong, but when I came to CrossFit, I was so weak. And it's like totally different. Like once I came to, a little guy, like tore me up at Fran, and I thought I would beat him, and I can do 21 strict pull-ups straight, but keeping pull-ups is going to kill me all day, So it was awesome to learn that stuff and to learn how to be faster, stronger, and more powerful, I should say. CrossFit is more about power than with lifting and just being a bodybuilder. Mm-hmm.
I love that. So basically, you found something that kind of showed you your weaknesses, and you decided to jump right
attack
in.
them. Exactly.
Yeah, nice,
mm-hmm.
man. Awesome.
Exactly.
That's kind of a key to success in all-around life right there. So I like that. Biggest obstacle you've had, and how did you overcome it?
Biggest obstacle I had was just getting into the industry of I would guess the biggest one was finding a spot to have all my athletes, because like I said, I already had a lot of athletes, or members I should say, from my previous endeavors. So just finding somewhere that accommodated us was very challenging for me, because I didn't know or even know where to begin to find equipment, find the spot to exercise at, or what I even need. Mm-hmm. So those things were very hard for me. So after I found out, it was easy.
All right. Mm-hmm. When we look at exercise and all the different exercises that are out there, from bodybuilding to CrossFit, almost limitless. There's everything. Right. So if you were going to pick your top 1 to 3 favorite exercises, mm-hmm. what would they be and why?
Yeah, I love this question. This question is awesome. All right, so I love the clean. The clean is the clean and jerk, favorite exercise, hands down. I guess it's because it taps into your CNS, your central nervous system. It's a big. You can't just be strong, and you got to have a lot of technique. So that's very challenging. And then it's also somewhat of a strength exercise out of the snatch and the clean and jerk. I would say the clean and jerk was more towards the strength aspect. So that's more me, So that's why I love that exercise. And I guess my second one would be back squat. Back squat is.
I kind of figured you would say that.
Yeah, back squat. Yeah, everybody knows I love back squat. The back squat. Well, basically, once I found out, by reading books and getting more into personal training, that the back squat just makes everything stronger. Everybody does. They don't even know the value of squatting. And once I learned that, I already kind of liked squatting from my high school days. So I just started squatting a lot, and that just boosted my testosterone levels, and just made everything stronger. So ever since I've been squatting, it's just gotten stronger and stronger. I guess my last one would be the bench press. I love the bench press. It takes me back to my my bodybuilding days, and makes me feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, old school, Ronnie Coleman. So, you know, the old school CrossFitters. I mean, old school CrossFitters, old school bodybuilders. Hello. So, yeah. So, you know, I love those three exercises. My favorite.
So the clean, the back squat, and the bench.
The bench.
All right, man. All right. So, what would you say are your top 2 to 5 daily healthy habits? So, if someone were going to look at the few things that you do every day that you think contribute to your health, and maybe people should consider picking those up, what are those?
The first thing is multivitamins. Just vitamin supplementation is a must. You know, you want to make sure you're on multivitamin. Every morning I wake up and I make sure I take my multivitamins, and it's just something that stuck with me. I get up in the morning, that's the first thing I do, you know, with a cup of water, and I guess that would be one. Did you say a couple?
2 to 5.
2 to 5, okay.
If that's your number one.
Also, just eating, I mean, basically, eating 5 meals a day. I try to stick with that as much as possible. You know, even if it's 2 protein shakes, you know, back to back within an hour and a half, I'll do that. Eating, you know, with a piece of fruit, something like that. You know, I make sure I do those things.
So maybe 5 times a day?
You know, 5 times a day. As long as it's 5 meals, you know, some days I might get more. I might get more meals in one day. And some days I just make sure I get those 5 meals no matter what. You know, I get those 5 meals, whether it be by protein shake or by you know, Whole Foods, or, you know, sitting down eating dinner or something like that. So yeah.
Okay. So multivitamin. So basically, it sounds like core nutrition.
Just core nutrition, yeah, because nutrition is very important. And without nutrition, you know, you're not gonna go too far. I mean, at the beginning, you will lose a lot of weight, you get a lot of results, but it's gonna plateau sooner or later. So you have to start watching the diet. It's important.
So I couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah.
All right. So on the other side of that spectrum, what would you say are your biggest vices?
You mean I was like my biggest problems, maybe the biggest things I don't have.
The things that maybe aren't the healthiest thing in the world because we're all human, so you know.
Oreo cookies. Oreo cookies. Oh man,
we've got that in common.
I can eat a whole box of Oreo cookies or whatever, the plastic.
Bag, yeah.
I can eat the whole thing in one day, and that's horrible. I mean, I can sit down and cheat on that whenever. Not just cheating, but you know, I can put down some Oreo cookies and some milk. It's bad. It's a bad habit. Also, I'm not a real big bread eater, but when it comes to sweets and stuff like that, I love donuts. So that's another bad thing. So those 2 are my weak points. Also, I say with the exercising, as far as like CrossFit, you know, you're only as good as the things that you, how can I say it? The things that you're good at, of course you're good at in CrossFit. You got to work on those bad things. So I'm really bad about that. The things I don't like about CrossFit, I really don't like, and I don't concentrate on, which I should. You know, I definitely tell my athletes or coach them to do those things, but I think I need to do it a lot more often.
I think, man, on that question, I think we got a lot in common. Yeah, because I remember reading an article one time. It said Oreos were as addictive as cocaine, and I was like, I would believe that.
Yeah, they're so good.
I'm with you on the donuts, and yeah, a lot of times, you know, you see that wad pop up, and it's something you're not good at, and you're like, I know I should go, and you got to convince yourself.
Yes, exactly.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. All right, so now, do you have what fitness and or you already mentioned some of them, but what fitness and or personal heroes, you know, do you look at and you're like, yeah, that's somebody I think people should follow?
You know, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger has always been, you know, once I got old enough to, once I got out of high school, I got into the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding by Arnold Schwarzenegger and read that whole thing a million back and forth. You know, definitely idol and someone I look to. If it would be local, I got to give it up to my old coach, you know, Jason at CrossFit Lackland. You know, he introduced me to CrossFit, you know, back, you know, when I first joined in 2013. And from there, you know, he taught me everything I know. And
in your opinion, what makes for a good trainer or coach? What traits do you think make someone a good trainer or coach?
What makes a good trainer or coach? Just being there, just making sure you're there for the athlete or for the member. Having a lot of attention, being attentive to that person, to that member, and giving them a lot of good advice. That's basically it. I guess my biggest thing would be just making sure they know the right thing and never, how can I say it, manipulate them to doing something else or something, you know. Do what's good for them and make them hit their goals. I guess that would be a good trainer to me.
All right.
Yeah.
What should people look for if they're thinking about, you know, joining a small box type gym? What do you think? What should they look for when they go in to know it's a place that might be a good fit for?
Like I said before, you know, you want it to be inviting. You want it to be really friendly and inviting. You don't want to go to a box where you walk in and nobody's paying attention to you. You know, and you've been there for about 3 minutes, 2 minutes. You know, you walk in the door and nobody's talked to you, and you're brand new. That's a sign that that's not a good box. That's the first sign. Second sign, it's just, you know, you're looking for people that, hey, how you doing? It might not even be a coach. It might not even be the owner. It will be just a member just saying hi, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's what you're looking for. I think that's the biggest thing. When you see that,
an identifier like that community.
Yeah, it's just boom. It's right there. They don't even own the box, but to them, that's their home. So they welcome you to their home. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, could not agree more.
Yeah.
So now, do you have any inspirational clients? Any people that, like, you know, come in your box and you're like, man, that person just gets it done. That's somebody who would, you know, I think more people should aspire to be like.
I do have one, Jennifer Hernandez. Jennifer's been with me since the beginning of time. She's been with me since I've been a trainer at Lifetime. From Lifetime to I was a coach at CFL for a long time. She followed me there from the Dominion. She lives by the Dominion, you know. So she followed me all the way across town. You know, I love her. You know, she's been with me forever, and she's always pushed herself. She started off being overweight. She lost weight. You know, we did boot camp for a long time. Dabbled in bodybuilding a little bit, and then made the transition to CrossFit. And she's an awesome CrossFitter. She's done CrossFit competitions with me, and we've cried together and lost competitions together. And she's definitely come a long way. I think she's not this super athlete either, you know, but she's definitely come a long way. I mean, she's way better than she was back a long time ago.
She's working on being the best version of herself.
Exactly. And that's what it's about.
Awesome. How long you been in fitness professionally?
13 years.
13 years. Uh-huh. So in that time, you know, you got a lot of questions that come your way. So what question or request do you love getting from clients?
Question. Oh God, this is a good one. I guess the biggest question is, where do I start? As far as anything, like if they want to be a bodybuilder, where do I start? And I like explaining to them where they should go, what they should do, you know, the steps they need to do to compete in bodybuilding or to compete in CrossFit or a local CrossFit competition. So I love those questions. I love, you know, that I have that experience to give them, you know, to carry it to them, you know, let them know that, you know, these little things that I didn't do that you should do, you know, in order to win or to be very good at it.
So helping people figure out like what's the right starting.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, good to go. So let's say there's somebody, you know, close to your what's going to be your new location here coming up.
Yeah.
Why should they come check out the Spartan Box?
They should come check out the Spartan Box because it's just like I said, very friendly, family oriented. I even have kids. You know, I got kids there. I got kids CrossFit, kids classes, and they can come just, you know, if they want a family environment or friendly environment, you know, very inviting, and they just want to learn about fitness. They don't have to be this special athlete or anything like that. Just bring yourself, bring your body, and be ready to work.
All right.
So.
All right. So you have kids classes here too?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So what? I didn't know that. So what all services do you offer here? Obviously, you've got the main.
We offer. So I also offer one-on-one training because I'm a personal trainer. I also offer the kids classes, the CrossFit Kids. We have sports and conditioning in the summertime for kids as well, and that starts at the end of May, depending on when school is out every year. So we have that all summer. So it's like a sports-specific camp that I do, and that's for the older kids. And then and boot camp. So we have the boot camp, CrossFit, the kids classes, and the sports-specific kids too. Yeah.
Okay. And
one-on-one training.
Okay. Awesome, man. Yeah. Name one thing you'd want somebody watching this to remember.
I would want you to remember that this is the guy that was doing bodybuilding and now is doing CrossFit. Well, actually, I've done football, bodybuilding. Now I'm doing CrossFit, and I love it. I'm still doing bodybuilding, and it's definitely possible to make the transition from bodybuilding to CrossFit. Also, I came from the southwest side of town, so I was born and raised here. Went to Southwest High School, and I guess that's what basically.
All right. So as we're sitting here now, we're shooting this in the last couple days in your current location here. You're moving next week. Go ahead and give us that new address.
Right. It's across the street from Chuck E. Cheese. The address is 6531 Northwest Loop 410, San Antonio, Texas 78238.
All right. Cool. And where can people find you online, like web address, Facebook?
Okay. Yeah, they can find me at the Spartan Box 210.com. That's the Spartan Box 210.com, and also at Facebook at the Spartan Box.
The Spartan Box. Cool.
Yeah.
What's the phone number?
Phone number is 210-219-2878.
All right, man. Good to go, and that'll be it. Any closing words?
No, that's it.